kill the humans.
Kill the humans.
Fuck you, listener.
That's it. That's the sketch.
That's
What more
the
do you
sketch.
want?
That's the whole thing.
That's the
You get
fucking
this for
sketch.
nothing. You don't pay.
We are Spike Milligan. Typically, the bit following the sketch is funnier than the actual sketch, which the sketch.
No, I'm including that bit. We're using it.
Yeah, I thought so.
Time Ram!
Where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's a streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Here, that's where, on Time Ram, the Doctor Who podcast that takes a randomly selected doctor and rams him or her into a randomly selected story. This week, it's following on from last week. It's William Hartnell again in The Robots of Death. I am Paul Ferry, and joining me, as usual, are Rupert Booth.
Please do not throw hands at me.
And Barry Williams.
I am not a Vok.
This introduction is very urgent. I don't know why.
Urgent's good. I like the urgency. No, that's that.
Yeah.
Fits my mood this evening.
Yes, urgent.
Thrusting even.
Thrusting, yes.
Hmm.
Thrusting and urgent.
Thrusting
Time
and urgent.
Ram, the podcast that's thrusting and urgent.
Allegedly.
Thrurgent.
Urgent.
Urgent.
Sting.
It's just a throbbing mass of urgency.
It's going to be one of those episodes, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so how are you? How are you both, anyway?
Well, surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's extremely windy.
Extremely.
Yeah. I wasn't going to talk
Yes.
about the weather, but yeah, it's been quite windy down here as well on the coast. We get wind on the coast,
Yeah.
not just when we eat beans. So
There's no more parts of St. Leonard's falling into the sea there.
Seriously, just
Not
do a
at the moment.
bean fart gag?
yeah, man. I went there.
5-year-olds.
I was going to say I've got scaffolding up the side of my house at the moment. So last night when the storm hit,
Yeah.
it was very much going
Oh, nasty.
Oh dear.
inside the house, which was
Not good.
interesting. I think it's just the planks rattling about, but
Yeah.
Hmm.
Storm. What's this storm called?
Storm Aisha this one, and then we got Storm Jocelyn
Yeah.
coming right in on the back of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's fine.
I wish I
Climate
was in-
change isn't real.
I wish I was in charge of naming storms because I'd give them all Doctor Who names.
Sutek.
Storm Sutek.
Storm
Fucking
Sutek.
storm. Sutek's coming now. Fear me. Dust
Where
and
it
darkness.
strikes, it leaves only dust.
Yeah.
Your evil is my good.
Yartek.
Yartek.
I wouldn't
We
want
have
to be
storm-
hit by Storm Yartek.
If we get up to Storm Yartek, we're fucked.
Yeah, Storm Yartek. Storm Tetoxel, because no one will be able to pronounce it properly apart from who
Yeah,
nice.
I'd be creative.
Yeah.
Storm Ortlock is all right. I don't mind that one.
Yeah, all looks fine.
Yeah.
God, imagine the terror of Hurricane Hartnell.
Storm Erato.
Actually, he sounds like one of the Hercules as you were talking about at the introduction of Hurricane Hartnell. He's going to say
Hurricane
this.
Hartnell. Yeah.
yeah. Hurricane Hartnell.
Let's call him that throughout the Robots of Death. That's
Yeah.
really
That was
Starring-
his wrestling name.
It's total rest. Yeah, giant haystacks, that sort of thing, isn't it? Big Daddy, Hurricane Hartnell. Penny flopping on you for a massive fight. Oh, fuck you!
Oh, I want anybody who can do AI stuff. I want a picture now of Hartnell as Hurricane Hartnell in his
Conversely, I really don't. I
In
want
his
to-
leotard.
leotard. Yeah.
Now, Chatterton, we should use their force against
Body
them.
slamming Big Daddy.
Wouldn't
Can
body
you see
slam
body
him. He'd
slamming
just-
Big Daddy?
He'd get straight in there. He'd just
Yeah.
run at him screaming from the one side of the ring. Why do they call it a ring? It's a rectangle. Stupid. Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it used to be round. I don't know.
Wait, we don't move with the times then. I mean, it's a while ago. I've seen boxing footage from the 20s that's got people in a rectangle.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, yeah. But I'm sure that boxing's older than the 20s.
Yeah, but that's 100 years ago. If they're going to rename it, they've had time. That's what I'm saying. Come on,
Okay.
boxing, wrestling. Come on,
Mhm.
guys. Call it a rectangle. It's great. Or oblong.
It's when they kind of
Now entering the oblong, Hurricane Hartnell. Sorry.
it's when the kind of referee bloke goes, and in the blue corner of the ring. Corner of the ring? How can you have a
Yeah.
corner in a ring?
Yeah.
A ring, does it have corners?
Is
Yeah.
it even blue? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Hartnell's ring.
Yes.
Hartnell's
Yeah,
oblong.
anyway, yeah, Robots
Yeah.
of Death.
Robots
Yeah,
of Death,
Robots of
yes.
Death. Well, it's got Hartnell in it, so
It's got Hartnell in
Yeah,
it.
this is
Yeah.
unusual, isn't it? Because we're following. We decided we
Yeah.
were going to follow directly on from the one we
We've
did
actually
last
got-
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's filling the slot previously filled by the Romans, of course, which was a historical. And it's a little
The
bit
comedy.
sad that Hartnell,
Yeah.
our Hartnell, Time Around Hartnell won't really get any historicals. But this one, you could almost make it a historical. All you have to do really is set it in Imperial India or something like that, and they're worried about the Indian servants rising up and killing them all. Say around the 1859.
It's called the Robots of Death.
I'm not suggesting we actually do it, but
Oh, okay, right.
the plot.
Okay, fine.
I mean,
Yes.
the basic Agatha Christie plot would fit that
Yeah.
really quite happily. You wouldn't
Yeah.
actually need to do that.
Yeah.
much
Now,
to it.
funny enough, there's something I noticed watching it today, which was how very early on, beautifully written by Chris Boucher, who was a god in terms of writing,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. You've got very quickly established there's a class system here, or a caste system. In the
Yeah.
opening scene, Uvanovs, your working class hero in that way. He looks up to Zilda, but also down on Zilda, because Zilda has money.
I look down on him because I am upper class. I look up to him because he is upper class. But I look down on him because he is lower class. I am middle class. I know my place.
And it's absolutely mirrored in the robots as well. You've got your
Yeah.
Superbot, you've got your Vox, and you've got your Dumbs, who are basically the slave class. And isn't it interesting that they're the ones who are dark?
Yeah.
Well, I bet that wasn't the idea. I mean, I've never read anything
Probably
to
not,
that
no.
effect, but it's interesting in retrospect.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's lots of world building that goes on, lots of little details that are sketched in the dialogue.
And it's so
Yeah.
deft.
Yeah, they've established the rules of the world these people come from, and we understand it well enough to be able to follow the story.
Instantly,
And
instantly. We know exactly who they are and where they are in the class system, and where the stressors are.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Robert Holmes in that respect that we said before. That the world building is superb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very much mentored by Holmes, wasn't he?
Mm.
And this is Chris Boucher being script edited by Robert Holmes, so you just
Yeah.
cannot fail with that.
Yeah.
No, it's so bloody good. But it always strikes me.
Yeah.
His three scripts for the show really always stand out to me as just exemplars, just superb.
Very solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's whipped off most of his plots, but he's kind of.
It's Doctor Who. There are 7 stories. We finished that by 1964.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's most of the way through season 1. We've done that and the Sensorite.
Yeah.
It's brilliant though with this how he kind of combines two sort of completely unrelated things where he's kind of going, well, we'll take like an Agatha Christie story and combine it with Dune.
Yeah.
You're thinking, it's just so bizarre.
Absolutely.
Why would you
Yeah.
think of that?
Absolutely. And to make it work so well is just beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's one of those rare stories where every single thing works together. Design,
Yeah.
direction, casting.
Mhm.
The whole thing is, and the music, the sound design, it's all absolutely seamless to me. Really is.
Yeah.
And this is an example of what a good director and designer can bring to it. The original idea wasn't for Art Deco robots, but my
Yeah.
God, they work and are terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the design departments, for once, have actually got together and collaborated a little bit and have got a unified vision for it.
Yeah.
So
I think
visually,
Hinchcliffe very much encouraged
right.
that. He'd like the different departments to talk to each other. He was saying it was stupid that they didn't.
Yeah.
All working to get the same vision, the director's vision here.
Yeah.
Let's work together then, and also therefore apportion the money as as usefully as possible. Clever, sensible.
Mhm.
I was wondering whether they would do the robots. I mean, obviously they'd be completely capable of doing the robots the same way in the Hartnell era, but would they?
Mm.
That's what I was wondering.
This is it. This
Mm.
is it. You're not going to get that. You're probably not going to have Michael E. Bryan directing, and you're probably
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
have Kevin Sharp designing. I suppose you might. He did the Macro Terror, I think his first one is. So that happy fusion ain't going to happen.
You've got
I
Ray
suspect,
Cusick
yeah.
designing, haven't you? If it's in the Roman slot, who directed that?
Yes.
I can't remember.
I'm tempted to think they'd look more like the white robots. It tends to be
Christopher
what I
Barry
was
directing.
thinking.
Now,
Yeah.
now
Yes,
they
Barry.
have
Okay.
track record, those two, of doing mechanical aliens really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in that era, you'd feel like they'd be tempted to make them a bit more Dalek-like, but they're not just going to be
Yeah.
painted faces, are they? They're going to make proper robots.
I mean, I think in many ways it will be very similar. There'll be a fiberglass head
Mm.
and a fabric
Yeah.
body, clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the design of them will be 100% different.
Yeah.
Outside of that.
Yeah.
Because for what they are, for what they have to do story-wise, going around strangling people and stuff, they're people in suits. They're not Daleks.
Yeah.
They're not a mechanical, a fiberglass thing that someone's sitting inside, a fiberglass machine.
Yeah.
They've got to be
Yeah.
humanoid.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to be
I
wearing
mean,
washing up gloves.
there's various robots in episodes of Out of the Unknown Out of the Unknown,
Oh,
Out of
no.
the Unknown, and where of that era, which are kind of a bit sort of they're generally sort of blank faced, aren't they? And
You know what they'd be like? They'd be like Cybermen. They'd be like the Mark II Cybermen.
Mm.
I think it'd be something like that. Because is it specified in the story, in the script anywhere, that they are decorative? I'm not sure it is. I think
No,
as
No.
written, the sandminer's fairly utilitarian, and the robots are fairly utilitarian.
Yeah,
So, your Mark II Cybermen, silver vinyl, maybe a
but
chest
without the
thing.
handles. And
Well, definitely a
stuff.
chest thing, because we've all got the numbers on.
Yeah.
And they're very, a smooth kind of 60s blank face thing like that.
Yeah.
Without the handles, yeah.
Yeah.
Along those lines, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because instantly we've lost one of the big plus points of the story, but
Yeah.
it's a strong script anyway. It doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the script's very solid.
Yeah.
Go ahead, time round.
We open on the sandminer. Well, I guess if we're following up from last week, the crew have landed. They've landed in a sand hopper on the sandminer, and they're kind of exploring a little bit. Probably not going to get the same number of model shots that we got in the Tom Baker version. Which
Probably
is
not the same
they're-
number, but you have to have some. You have to. I mean, some of them are specified, like sinking and stuff like that. You've got to see it.
You got to
And
see
again,
it, but you're not going to have. I
do
mean,
that.
the opening shot, obviously, of the story as it stands, is that you've got the sandminer, massive model shot, and they actually managed to zoom in through the window into the control room, where you got the robots are basically running it. They're running the show.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the crew in their lounge. They're not really doing anything. They're just relaxing.
Yeah.
Chub's there. He's kind of teasing the others about their money and stuff like that. And he doesn't really get on with Borg, I think. So we've got various crew members here. We've got Uvanov, Dask, Toos, Chub, Borg, Zilda, and Cass. They all turn up in the same scene here. And theoretically, we're going to have to cast them.
Right. All in one go. Let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I mean, Uvanov without Russell Hunter doesn't bear thinking about.
Yeah.
But he was probably busy doing Callum.
He probably would have been doing Callum. It's an interesting casting. They've got this little guy, this little fella, Russell Hunter, to play the commander. And it's, I don't know, it's not quite miscasting, but it is out there. It's kind of, it's strange and different.
It's unusual casting.
Yeah.
I think he's superb in it. I really can't imagine it without him. He brings so much to it. He is strange. He's absolutely. You're not getting Lida Clent here. Cast Peter Barkworth. It's a fantastic performance, but it's what you'd expect someone to do. It's what you do if you got the script and he's this authoritarian. He's the commander, all that sort of bit. He's oily and slimy and weird.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's just got that kind of. Oh, you're a bit wrong, mate. About what did you say? All that sort of bit.
Yeah, it's interesting the way it is cast, because you've got Brian Croucher in it, who's like a big, strong character, and yet he's one of the first to go. He's
quite a big name, and he literally disappears halfway through the story. You don't see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we'll get to. But yeah,
Well, let's cast Tony Cornter as Borg.
Tony
Yeah.
Cornter. Yeah, okay, that's good. I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. That's
Uh,
one.
who's
Would
playing
it have
Toos?
the
Helen
would
Mirren.
it have the would it have the, I was just going to say, would it have the multiracial cast? It's not
Less likely,
impossible, but
probably.
would
Yeah.
they
I
do it?
mean, one would hope it would, but it probably is less likely. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Probably is less likely, yeah.
Mm.
How about Fiona from Keys of Marinus and Still Nemesis plays Lady
Oh,
Painful.
Fiona Walker.
And
Yeah.
Fiona Walker, yeah, but plays the evil
Yeah.
one in
Yeah.
Keys of Marinus. There's a very kind of like 60s bird, you know, with the big eyelashes and like
Yeah.
that, something like that.
Yeah. That's Toos.
That's two, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's fine by me. Yeah. I mean, I'll miss
Yeah.
Pamela Salem, who.
Oh, come on, everyone always misses
Oh
Pamela.
my gosh, she's
yeah.
sexy in this story. Oh my god.
Yeah, Christ, I know.
Yeah.
Wow. You know that Tom would agree with us, though. I mean, in a number of interviews where he's kind of gone, "Oh, remember our Robots of Death?" Pamela Salem.
Yeah. Okay. Who else have we got? We got Dask.
Dask.
Ask. Yeah.
Peter Glaze.
Well, you wouldn't expect him to turn out to be the villain, would you? I suppose that'd be a completely unexpected turn of events.
Bernie Winters.
Brian
Um,
Cant.
Brian Cant.
Lovely Brian Cant. You'd never, when he turned out to be the bad guy, you'd be
Brian
like,
Never
Cant.
suspect him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian Cant.
can't be Brian Cant. He can't be the leader of the robot revolution.
Okay, Brian Cant. All right.
You can see Brian Cant, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got Zilda and Cass and
Yeah.
Chub, who we haven't cast.
Mhm.
I mean, we could probably live without them. They're not in it as much. And then there's Uvanovs, of course.
Patrick McGowan.
Patrick McGowan, who famously,
Very
Not being a bit
strange.
busy with Danger Man then.
who famously hated Hartnell. That Patrick
Did he?
McGowan. I think so.
Didn't
Yeah,
hate Arnold?
they didn't get on,
Didn't hate Arnold?
didn't he?
No.
I'm sure I read that somewhere. They fell out.
Not
They were in
that
a
I
stage show
recall.
together, and they didn't get on.
Did Hell Drivers as well.
I know, but they didn't get on. That's what I read.
First time. If you read it in Not a Number and I've forgotten, that's really embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe not McGowan. They couldn't have afforded them anyway.
Mm. Anton Rogers.
See, Anton Rogers. Mary Morris.
Mary Morris.
If we're doing number twos, Mary Morris.
Okay.
Very different.
Very different. Yeah.
Quite progressive.
Quite progressive. Yeah.
She's done A for Andromeda.
Did she?
Yeah,
Is she the boss in that?
she's a scientist in that.
Okay. Yeah. It seems a bit progressive for the time, but
No, this is
it's
Verity.
probably,
This is Verity.
this is Verity. Yeah. Okay, Mary Morris. All right.
Mary Morris. Hurrah!
Go for it. Mary Morris. Okay, let's move on.
Who did we
Because,
cast in the David Collins part?
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah,
Paul's quite important.
Paul. What? I've
What
not
about
written Paul
Peter
down for
Sallis?
some reason. I haven't written him down. Peter Sallis. All right.
He could do the
Here's
kind
our
of
job, agreed. Done.
he could do the kind of freaking out sort of robophobia stuff, couldn't he? I'm sure he
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, nice. Peter Sallis, good.
Peter Sallis. All right. Lovely Peter Sallis. Yeah.
Excellent.
It's the wrong trousers. The wrong trousers. What have you done with the controls, Gromit?
It's quite a good cast, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diamond cast. That is.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we got the crew there, and
They're flopping about a bit.
flopping about a bit.
They're flopping about, yeah.
Just flopping about.
They're in their comfy room flopping about.
Just flopping about.
Mary Morris is playing chess with a robot. Worth it, price of entry.
Hmm. So the Doctor and Ian and Barbara and Vicki are. It's probably going to be quite lengthy in the 60s. They're kind of exploring this metal area where they found themselves.
Yeah.
I honestly think that it's going to be as exact. All the scenes are going to be exactly as lengthy as they are in Robots of Death. I don't see what we can change story-wise.
Hmm.
because it's so perfectly put together.
Yeah.
We're going to struggle when we've got so many companions.
Yeah. Vicki faints. Barbara faints with her.
You put them both in the sleep augment.
No, let's have Ian fainting. So we've got the doctor with female companion. And Babs reveals she's got like a knife in her boot. I've never shown you this before. All history teachers in Cold Hill School carry a knife, seriously. Police told us to, because it's 1963.
Yeah.
Ian and Vicky get hit on the head by some ore.
We're following the Romans, and really Ian and Barbara should go off on their own adventure somewhere that nobody finds out about.
They go off and have a little shag in one of the hoppers.
Yes.
Where have you been for the last 3 episodes?
Oh, just stuck in the hopper. Yeah, terrible.
I think you can just. I think you could do it. I mean, you just keep them all for the bulk of the original. The Doctor and Leela are just together all the time, so you just keep them all together all the time. You know, you'd have to.
I wonder if you
share out the dialogue, but
I suppose Poole. I just had a random moment of thinking, what if Vicky was the one who had the robophobia? But that kind of means killing Poole or something earlier on. It doesn't mean killing Poole, actually. It just means he doesn't have robophobia. Because that gives Vicky some immediate sort of relevance to it. You know, her society, she could know about these robots.
Yeah.
She'd be the one immediately going, "Oh, I don't like robots, they're evil."
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that kind of Vicky way that she does. You're evil, you are.
Yeah. And the doctor goes, "No, child, and smashes a hole in the set."
And the doctor kind of very firmly going, "Robots cannot harm a human being." And the rest of the story is about robots harming human beings.
And Ian and Barbara kind of going, "Don't know, they look like it could harm us." I mean, you know, might they, Doctor? Oh, don't be ridiculous, Chesterton.
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Explaining the 3 laws of robotics in great detail. Unless bless them, Hartnell gets it wrong.
Which, let's face it, you know.
I was thinking that the episode 2 cliffhanger where the Doctor is kind of buried in the grain in the hopper. I know I'm jumping ahead here.
Somewhat.
I was thinking that would probably be Ian rather than
Ian,
the Doctor,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
They're all braying on the door outside trying to get to them, but they can't.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on with this plot a little bit then. So
let's try and remember that bit when we get to the end of the episode. Good.
Yeah.
So the crew they've found some more minerals. They're looking for minerals.
Do you know the Lucanol story?
Yeah.
The reason that Lucanol's the thing that that's the rarest thing, and Chris Boucher said I named it after the rarest and hardest to find thing at the time, which was Lord Lucan, because that was happening when he was writing it, and that's why it's called Lucanol.
Right. Okay.
I know.
Grace, no, please.
It'd be Chris Boucher, not Chris Chibnall. God, imagine. I know he's cracking on a bit, but I bet he could still have written.
So they're going to harvest these minerals from the sandstorm outside, which is bad news for the TARDIS crew because they're going to get shredded. This stuff comes in the hoppers. So we're kind of, certainly as it stands, we're kind of cutting between these 2 threads as they're trying to work out where they are. But there's a bit of an interruption because Chub is in the stores. He doesn't last very long. He gets killed by V45.
Oh no!
That sounds like Tarzan when he dies.
He sounds so tough.
That's the one thing that lets Robots of Death down to me. That fucking scream. It's vaguely Tarzan and it stops. I mean, I know it's meant to stop, but I'm sure someone doesn't just like stop like a stopped tape, like a suspiciously stopped tape when they're being strangled. I'd imagine you'd gurgle it, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Couldn't they get the actor? Couldn't they get the actor to do it? Wouldn't that have worked?
Why don't they just get the actor to do it? Yeah, maybe I don't scream, darlings.
Yes.
I'm not screaming today. My tarot says because it's the mid-70s.
So Paul hears his entirely convincing scream. Yeah.
Maybe this is just these are aliens. These are Kaldorians or whatever. Maybe that's just what Kaldorians do when they die.
Yeah, are they aliens or are they humans?
Yeah. I'm going to do that when I die now. That'd be great. I'll confuse everyone.
I got to the end there, and I wasn't quite sure. Are they kind of aliens or are they kind of future humans? I'm not quite sure. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not made
I like
clear.
to think they're aliens just because why not?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure it's those Caldo City audios, isn't it, that Chris
Hmm.
Boucher wrote
Mm-hmm.
some of, and where they combined with, non copies that characters that are in his copyright from Blake Seven.
Yes.
I think the
What
implication
else
there
would
is
you
that
like
it's a
that?
human colony.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
remember
That
listening
makes
to some of them and
sense.
really liking them, yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't there a character who's basically played by Paul Darrow but isn't Avon?
Yeah.
Except he totally is Avon. But he's called Derek or something.
It's got some Shakespearean name. I
Bona.
can't remember what it is. Is it
Yeah.
Iago or something? I'm sure it's
Yeah,
called
that's it.
Iago.
Castaniago.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's worth listening to because it's Avon turning up in the Robots of
Yeah.
Death universe, which is excellent.
Wow.
I must admit, I've not listened to any Carol City things.
I give them a go because Chris Boucher.
Yeah.
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 You know, they're worth a listen.
Yeah. I enjoyed the novels that he wrote as well. The ones they
Yeah.
kind of followed up on a lot of this, didn't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just there's enough here for him to draw on to kind of create a Carol City. So
I suppose just to put the whole debate of whether are they aliens or are they future Earth, like maybe the whole thing about the founding families is meant to imply from Earth.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to, but it could be Morestrans. I
could be
kind of think of
Morestrans,
them like the Morestrans. The Morestrans are nothing to do with Earth at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
very similar.
that's quite nice because they could easily have been. But we've had that a lot.
Yeah,
30 years got loads of colonies and federations and so on. You know, it's nice to have just not human guys.
yeah.
So if that's the case, then that does make it reasonable that one of them dies by making that sound. That's just their death sound. Hurrah.
Great. Okay,
Worst bit of the Robots of Death explained.
good. We got there in the end.
Yeah.
The file of drugs left outside the TARDIS, remember?
Yes, what about them?
It's possible that they may have been anti-radiation drugs. No, impossible in this temperature. Besides, it's too warm. Yes, and if you'd had your shoes on, my boy, you could have lent her hers. I can't improve at this very moment. Yes, I rather fancy that's settled that little bit of solution. Oh, I think that might be just some fluorescent substance in the walls. You'll end up with a couple of burnt scissors flying around in space, in space. Don't underestimate my power.
So we crash back in. The TARDIS has been removed.
Yep.
Big claw got it.
Yeah.
So the TARDIS crew supposedly could be in quite a lot of trouble here. But then Poole runs back to the bridge, or the control room. I think they actually call it the control room. And it's like, look, there's been a murder. You have to stop. And
this is another lovely bit where Uvanovs just really interested in money. He's going, all right, well, he's dead.
yeah,
Let's make some money out of Lucanov.
let's make some money. He won't get his share. More for the rest of us. Crack on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Genuinely thinking that that's going to cheer them up by the sound of it. Very tall.
Yes.
He comes out with the wrong stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is great. It's great characterization.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it sets him up as a suspect very quickly, doesn't it? It's great. Speaking
very quickly, I'll very quickly talk about the Mandela effect here because this is where it happens.
Okay.
It's the thing where some fans, including myself, are convinced that they've heard Ivanov at the end of the he's forced to switch it all off, basically. Who says you can't get away with it until he goes this time, which is interesting. And Ivanov said, all right, close the vents, trim the valves, crew stand down. And then the scene cuts. But I and many others can picture and hear Ivanov looking up at Poole and going, satisfied? Like that. It's a thing in Who fandom. Look into it.
It's not on the master tape.
Not on the master tape. Not apparently any copy that anyone's ever found. Like, I don't know where. Maybe I heard it on my first audio copy, but where did that come from? I don't know. It came off the compilation VHS. So, yeah. But I can, is it in the book? Maybe we've all just filled it in from there.
Yeah, it's possible.
It does sound familiar when you say it.
In that
way. The only
exactly
versions I have seen are the compilation VHS, the non-compilation VHS, and the DVD. And
I had audio VHS, UK Gold copy. Yeah, modern digital versions.
Unless there was a compilation that went out at some point that had earlier taken it. I don't know.
Did Australia have an earlier episode like Frontier in Space or where they've got the Twiddly Twong theme on, with extra scenes in because it's an earlier copy? I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, people have been looking into it for a long time and no one's got an answer. So no, we're not satisfied, basically.
So if you know, listener, write in.
Indeed.
So Zilda's there going, for God's sake, stop, and eventually he stops. Which is good.
Satisfied?
Yes, actually. So yeah, it's good news for the TARDIS crew. The shutters close and they're all right, and then they get captured by some robots, basically.
That's a great early moment of danger, isn't it? I mean, that could be a cliffhanger ending in a lesser story.
Yeah. No, we got loads to go yet. Yeah. So yeah.
Terry Nation would have made that a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So yeah, Uvanov and Paul, they go down to the storeroom, and where they find Chub's body has got it's got sort of a red disc on it, which they can't immediately identify.
It's one of those reflective things that you put on the
Bicycle
rear of a
wheels.
bicycle.
On bike.
in the
Yeah.
1970s.
Yeah,
That's
really
basically
is.
what it is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And everyone knew that in 1977 as well,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because if anything, they were even more prevalent then, because everybody had those on
We all have one on the back of our chopper,
I think this will be a Perspex thing made by Shawcraft, probably with a big arrow on it or something like that.
Yes.
Because you haven't got red.
Yeah.
So
skull and crossbones.
It'll be something. It'll be something more graphic.
Yeah.
Ow.
They get the crew back together in the crew quarters, and Uvanov is immediately out. Right, well, someone's a murderer. So,
Yeah. One of you.
One
of you did it. Yeah, that's lovely as well. That's lovely subtle stuff. One of us. No, say one of you.
Can't be me. I'm the captain.
All right, one of
One
us.
of you.
Yeah.
And I can imagine Mary Morris actually really delivering that nicely. That'd be quite fun.
Yeah. I think she's really cold.
Yeah.
I think she'll be like she is in The Prisoner. She'll be quite cold and rational about things. She'll want to make money out of a sense of ruthlessness. It's sort of quiet, cold ruthlessness rather than I'm here to do a job.
Yeah.
And you could totally believe her as being the murderer.
Yeah.
She's the one that's nearest to the robots in demeanor.
Yeah, true actually. Yeah. It's Dask. Dask points out that the disc that they took off Chub's body is a corpse marker. That's what they use for when robots are broken. Not normally attached to humans.
Are they going to use the word corpse in season 2? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel it might be a bit surreal. Whereas you might go, let's not call it a corpse, let's call it a...
They probably wouldn't use that, no. They would say...
There's no better word that I can think of that's probably not worth wasting time on.
I mean, there's lots of little scenes in this where one other character goes into graphic detail about how a robot could rip your arm off. I think none of that's in there.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
that's absolutely not going to happen, no.
Yeah.
I love the way that particular shot is directed, where somebody's holding the corpse marker and the others are kind of sort of reaching out to touch it. Oh, what's that? And when he says corpse marker, they all go, ugh.
Yeah. Beautiful. It's so full of touches like that. It really is quite rich.
It could just be like a really boring close-up of the thing, but just the fact that you have other people's hands coming in sort of makes it more interesting.
It tells the story. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Great performances in this. It's great cast. Actually.
Yes, all the way through.
Yeah.
And in our version too, I think, actually. We've got a good cast here.
Yeah.
We haven't cast the robots. We haven't cast SV7. We haven't got...
I know, but does it matter? I mean, SV7 is just a voice.
It'd just be general blokies, though, wouldn't it? With Peter Hawkins and...
Yeah. Well, Peter Hawkins. Peter Halliday, yeah.
I think they'd just be extras, though, with Peter Glaze and with...
So, the TARDIS crew, they've been locked up in another room.
Oh, we should have cast Kevin Stoney as Dask.
I cast Kevin Stoney last week.
Yeah, it's too bloody obvious, really. Yeah. Last week, didn't we? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a shame, because he'd be brilliant at doing the let me...
Yes, he would. He would be fantastic. But he'd be really obvious from word go as well. Yes. That's Kevin Stoney, isn't it? Because Kevin Stoney's there. Look.
See you, Kevin Stoney.
Patronise me, Doctor Who.
The TARDIS crew, they've been locked up in this room where SV7 comes in and gets a proper scene with them. SV7's kind of asking them questions, and they're deflecting. I think that's the only way to describe it. They deflect quite well.
I think they'd have the common sense to use very slightly modulated human voices rather than something like Cybermen or Daleks.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to the 84, I think they'd have the common sense to go, well, no, it's got to be able to act and emote.
Yeah, it makes a difference to the
Yeah.
story, the fact that the robots are getting a performance. Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be a bit more processed, I don't know, but yeah.
I think a little bit more, but they're still going to have, enough human qualities in there to interact.
So you can do scenes with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as Uvanov hears about this, these guys have turned up. These stowaways have turned up. He's relieved. He's like, all right. Or rather, she's like, let's get back and do some mining. Crack on. So the crew kind of disperse. They're going to do that.
They have some discontented murmuring about it, though.
They do have some discontent.
They're not necessarily buying it because they just don't like Ivanov.
Yeah. He's not.
That's
popular.
what it is, isn't it?
No.
Especially Zilda, who just sees whenever she looks at him.
Yeah.
Did we cast Zilda?
No, he didn't. No. No.
Did that be Keith?
Yeah, Vicki. Maybe.
The Avengers around then, wasn't she? So she was doing stuff.
That actress who plays Zilda, I remember kind of watching that and thinking, she's not very good in this. She maybe doesn't get the kind of science fiction thing because she's a bit stiff. And then I saw that same actress.
She's probably the least good in it, yeah.
Yeah. And then I saw her in Philip Martin's Gangsters, and she's exactly the same. All right. Okay.
It's a bit where she's kind of required to cry on camera, and you feel a bit sad for her because she's just going, and then just hiding her face.
Yeah.
It's not gone well. It's a bit unforgiving.
Yes.
Keeper of the legacy of Rassilon. Defender of the laws of time. Protector of Gallifrey.
So, the Doctor escapes, basically, doesn't he? The Doctor escapes from his room they've got him in.
Yeah.
Being
But
hard
not
on
with
him.
the screwdriver.
Not with the sonic screw. It'd been hard.
Oh, he'll use his fucking ring, won't he?
He'll do something. He'll do something with magnets. There'll be some
Magnets, yeah.
box.
Magnets or
Ring magnets.
Yeah,
you know,
he'll use his ring magnets.
ring magnets.
Yeah. While explaining it all to Ian.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. That's ingenious, Doctor.
wow,
Yes.
remarkable.
So yeah, they escape, and then they do actually split up a bit.
Yeah.
Because in the original version, Leela goes and finds Chub's body.
Mm-hmm.
Barbara,
Yeah, I
and
don't know why
Vicky,
we would do that.
Barbara and Vicky do it, maybe.
It'd be Vicki who goes off, and Barbara sees her going off, and goes Vicki, and runs after her
Yeah,
Yeah.
to bring her back.
yeah.
Because Vicky's just not used to this time travel thing, and Barbara's going to give her a jolly good
Smack bottom.
explaining act.
Explaining. Yes. Okay. Good. So yes, we get the scene where, well, I guess it's the Doctor and Ian in that case find the TARDIS, and then one or both of them hide in a sandhopper.
It's going to be Ian, isn't it? I'm sure this would be Ian. It wouldn't
It'd be Ian. Ian spots the
Doctor
body.
goes in the TARDIS.
The
Yeah.
Doctor goes in the TARDIS. Ian spots a body in the sandhopper. He finds his body. The body is this other crew member. He's called Carol.
Yeah.
I don't think we see him while he's alive, but we do see his body in this hopper.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, Ian sort of hops in like he does. And see, find that wasn't deliberate. And yeah, he gets locked in, and then
Doctor comes out and starts hammering on the door.
yes, Ian.
I can kind of imagine how they would film this in the 60s. I think it would be a kind of overlay thing, wouldn't it? Where he's just kind of acting.
Probably, yes.
Something's filling up, in front of him.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Cut to a side shot of Hartnell battering on it like
Yeah.
Aztecs, where he's trying to pull the stone out.
Yeah.
It's just locked in the damp place.
Mhm.
The Aztec damp place.
Yes.
That place.
The worst kind of damn place.
Actually, it's not nice, is it? I mean, you go one way, you're going to die. The other way, there's a fucking skeleton at the end. It was great.
Yeah.
Fuck the Aztecs, weirdos.
So we're going for episode 2. Barbara and Vicky are forced to hide because there's robots kind of wandering around taking Chub's body away.
Yeah.
And the Doctor and Ian very much get captured. SV7 turns up.
Going, impurity.
So yeah, they get dragged away. So that just leaves, I guess, Barbara leads Vicky back to the other room because they don't know where they are. They go back to the room, but they were meant to meet up back at the room. They're just going to
Back at the corridor or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they go in there and they find Cass. Cass is dead.
Aye.
Doesn't last very long. And then
We didn't
D84.
cast Cass either. Doesn't really matter.
You know, he's not in it long enough. Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins. Just starting out.
Laurence Olivier. I don't know. All right.
No. He was already a star by that point. He wouldn't do it. But Hopkins would have done. He did Department S.
Yeah, who else was starting it? Roger Moore.
But he was the Saint
When's the Saint started?
before Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't he some historical figure, but like Sir Lancelot? I know he wasn't Sir Lancelot because that was William Russell, but I think
Ivanhoe?
Ivanhoe, maybe.
Ivanhoe.
Yeah. He was already a kind of
Big name.
great starlet thing.
He was he went to America for a bit as well, wasn't he? He was in Maverick or something, wasn't he? I'm sure he was. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember years ago my uncle telling me about that and me thinking, Roger Moore in a Western.
Yes.
Yes, that doesn't bear thinking about.
Yeah.
Does he do an American accent? I want to see.
I've never seen it. I know nothing about it.
Then
But
we
I
must
remember
find
being
it.
told years ago.
Roger Moore in Maverick. There must be one on YouTube because it's Roger Moore.
Yeah.
More fans will have put it there.
Yeah. Oh, it would be like. I mean, American TV is, existing in much higher quantities
Yeah, true.
from this period.
Yeah.
So D84 comes in, and is obviously there's three classes of robot we should probably go through. There's the dumbs, the Vox, and the Super Vox.
Mm-hmm.
D84 is a dumb, shouldn't be able to talk, but of course he does. And he's very much questioning them until Uvanov arrives.
Mm-hmm.
Uvanov comes in, and then he's like,
Yeah, just turns completely and grabs both of them.
not talking to me. Yeah. So
Having said, tell no one about me.
yeah, it's us,
Kind of
isn't it?
like, mysterious way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uvanov comes in and Poole as well, and they both kind of, well, they're like, all right, we found a murderers then. But I think
I do think it's less immediately believable that Barbara and Vicki killed Cass rather than Leela. Leela, you can kind of go, well, she might have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take one look and go, that's possible.
I think, you can say Uvanov wants it to be them so that she can just keep.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't think Paul is actually convinced. No,
he's not convinced He's not convinced about Leela. No, he takes one look at the body and goes, nah. Because he's clever as Poole. I don't like what he's wearing though.
A lot of their fashion sense is not. Yeah. It's not great. So they get dragged back to the crew quarters basically, and this is where we get the lovely scene really where the crew are interrogating them, and Borg is really laying into the Doctor. He's trying to. Borg's spreading suspicion everywhere because he didn't get on with Chub, and he's kind of pissed people off. And then the Doctor has got his obviously famous line.
You know, you're a classic example of the inverse ratio between the size of the mouth and the size of the brain.
Which, it's great.
Which I can totally imagine Hartnell doing.
Yes. It probably messed it up.
And then, giving it that, I've really insulted you, you fucker. And you don't even understand it.
Between the size of the brain and the mouth and the mouth of the brain. And the mouth.
How would you say?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Does Borg lamp him? I can't remember. He might do.
He tries to strangle him.
He tries to strangle him, which, doesn't allay suspicions. Yeah.
I don't think Hartnell's getting strangled.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. But it's lovely to see Borg involved.
Well, Ian's gonna jump in there, and they might have a bit of stuff at that point actually to give Ian a bit of action.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Ian on Borg action.
Yeah, Ian on Borg.
Yeah.
Bit of action. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Science stuff.
Just giving us the best of both worlds.
Indeed.
Hang on.
The next bit, if you've been paying attention, it kind of reveals the identity of the murderer because everyone's in such distinctive trousers.
Yes.
But yeah, someone gives a robot a corpse marker and sends it to kill Zilda. And then we cut back to certainly in the original version, we've got the Doctor and Leela strapped to the wall with these bits of plastics around the neck.
Well, is it all four of them?
Yeah, are they all four of them going to be strapped to the wall?
All four of them strapped to the wall.
It seems a bit. Maybe they're just locked up. I don't know.
I don't see why they wouldn't strap them up. The Daleks strap them up. The Daleks put those things around them in
Yeah.
Daleks and Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Hmm.
So don't see why not.
All right, okay. Bit of 60s bondage. Okay,
hmm
good stuff. But Paul comes in, he's not convinced,
Mhm.
and he's kind of probing them for information. And eventually he frees them, basically. He takes them to go and check out the murder spot, murder place, Chubb's murder place.
Chub's murder place.
What am I trying to say? Chubb's
Scene of the crime.
Scene.
scene of the
Murder
crime.
scene.
Murder scene. That's it.
Quite like Chub's murder place. That's fun. There's a spin-off
Sounds
movie
like a
on that.
very disreputable bar.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've seen that kind of springing up in Soho. Yeah. Coming
What
to
happens
Chubb's
there?
murder place.
King and fun and murder, maybe.
So yeah, while this is going on, we've got most of the rest of the crew on the bridge. Some of them are down in the engine room, which we don't really get to see. But there's kind of there's Uvanov up on the bridge, and Zildas, as usual, kind of not very happy with her, and eventually just says, "Right, I'm off for my rest period."
Yeah, I'm off for my nap. So
Yeah. And Uvanov is like, "Oh, you've been working an hour. All right, okay, yeah, fair play. Off you
It's
go."
the supreme arrogance of the upper classes and demonstrators here.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done an hour. I must rest.
I'm weary.
And Dask didn't help. I mean, if you were Uvanov, you'd just fire Dask, wouldn't you? Rest period isn't entitlement. Fuck you. Look at you can all then.
But we get this lovely scene really where the doctor kind of figures it out. It's like realizes that the killer is a robot. Which is this lovely bit of logic where he's like, okay, so you can't move this thing in the storeroom. What would you do? And Paul goes, I'd call for a robot. Oh,
Yeah, great.
lovely scene. It's great, yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's after this that we get Zilda. She's gone to Uvanov's quarters, and she finds some documents that upset her.
Yeah.
She's not happy about it. She's doing her crying, full-on crying.
Yes.
And then she kind of calls Uvanov on the speaker, going, "You get," or something.
On the loudspeaker, basically, isn't it? Just to everyone.
Yeah, she just broadcasts it over the entire sandminer, basically. Yeah, and Uvanov runs out of the control cabin, and so Paul turns up. He turns up in time to find Uvanov standing over Zilda's dead body, which is a little bit sus.
It doesn't help his case here.
He really
He just
does.
sort of stands there going, "Oh, it could have been brilliant though," rather than standing up and going, "It wasn't fucking me." From the word go.
He's got this kind of creepy, romantic kind of
Yeah, he's
feeling
kind of
towards her,
plunging after her a bit.
which
He's not
not
right.
reciprocated at all.
No. Is
It's
Mary
like-
Morris going to be doing this? I don't think so. Not in 1965.
No, not really.
Don't think Verity's going to
Yes.
have that.
I thought when we got back and we'd all been paid, I'd really have enough money to stalk her.
Properly hire professionals and things like that.
Proper stalking.
You can't stalk somebody in a sand miner.
You can't mend people.
Stalking used to be a hobby. I wanted to take it up professionally.
You realise the amount of Lucanol it takes to get someone to really be stalked?
Can we leave any of this in?
Well, we're just speculating about life on Caldor.
Yes. Yeah.
Stalking might be a big thing there.
Talking might be fine in Caldor City.
Yes.
It might be a compliment.
Yeah.
The way you indicate interest in someone, let's take you out for dinner. You send like 20 stalkers after them.
Yeah, so
Eventually you go, wait, I'm being stalked.
how romantic.
Who can it be? Oh, I'm all aflutter. Stalkers are all kind of, she's all aflutter on the phone back to you, Varnell. It was weird.
Oh dear. Perhaps fortunately, the sand miner now hits a rock. Well, it doesn't quite hit a rock. It's been the motive units have been sabotaged.
Sabotage.
Which Dask tells us about, interestingly. So, oh yeah, it's been sabotaged. Wasn't me.
And he's just found Borg as well, who's dead.
Oh, I found Borg. He's dead.
Yeah.
You didn't see that, but Borg's dead, by the way.
Yeah. Hello, engine's fucked, Borg dead. End.
What are you going to do, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, Toos has a slightly over the top moment. She's like, she's coming.
Yeah.
It's correctly pitched for the end of the episode.
I mean, it's definite end of episode acting. Yeah.
It's proper stuff. Yeah, and I think they'd spend a bit of money and make some quite big models and do some quite decent model shots.
Yeah.
Well, they're capable of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not unlike the Dalek pushing out from the sand in the chase.
Mm.
About that sort of size, you just build a big sand pit and sink
I mean,
it in. I don't think it would look as good.
No. I mean, so often in the Hartnell era, they do it with a sound effect, don't they? It's kind of slightly disappointing.
But I think they push the boat out for it because it's so integral to the story.
Yeah.
You frequently got to see the sandminer. It's not just a one-off either, so it's worth spending the money on.
No. I mean, they use these shots several times. Yeah, so it's value for money.
Presumably in the Mythmakers, you did get to see the wooden horse of
Troy. Oh yeah,
you do.
So,
and look, I mean, that's quite a big prop.
Yeah.
It still exists, so it's quite sizable. So any set it was on would be. You look at they've got like 20-foot sets for the Dalek City and the Kemble, the landing area.
They do have that, yeah. They
could do big model shots.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
So we're into episode 3. We probably better crack on, actually. So Dask is there. He's kind of eventually he's persuaded to help the Doctor cut the wires to the debris, something like that. And the sandminer stops.
Yeah.
But now they're sinking, which is quite a nice little moment. And he just sends Dask off to repair the motor units. All right.
Yeah.
I'll fix it then.
Yeah, but Borg dead. Fuck Borg. It's the engines.
Sort it out, will you?
Someone take him away, at least. I mean, wow.
So with Uvanov sort of locked up in his cabin, or in her cabin, with Toos is in command now. Yeah. But she's hurt her arm. So they send her off with, guessing Barbara or someone. Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah.
Fix her up a bit.
It's going to be Barbara, isn't it? Yeah. Barbara's not getting a lot to do here. Poor Barbara and Vicki aren't getting a lot to do. But that happens.
That happens frequently.
Stories sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it does happen.
It's one of the reasons I read the Web Planet as a script. Actually, they all get something to do all the time.
Yeah. It's the sort of story they would do then, isn't it? They kind of split them up and
have their adventures. But in this, we can't really.
No, there's just nowhere for them to go.
No, there isn't. Absolutely.
Like I say, I mean, if you if you gave them a separate storyline, but I don't know what they'd be doing.
Yeah, they'd be doing episodes 5 and 6, which we don't want to do.
No,
we're not going to.
Yeah. So we get the story. Paul kind of tells us the story about Uvanov killed a man years ago.
Well, he gone against his head, pulled his trigger. Now he's dead. It was on a proof sandminer. He sent a man out to die. Carol witnessed it, and it turned out this guy was Zilda's brother. Yeah. So we get a bit of Agatha Christie plot going. It's a nice bit of motivation for Zilda. It also makes Uvanov immediately more suspect.
It's good stuff. It is that Agatha Christie thing where they kind of, all right, you didn't know this, and this is why you're a suspect.
Yeah.
Which still works. It's all good.
The tickle finger of fate points us.
So Das does his job. The sandminer refloats itself. It's all fine. It's all sorted about. And the Doctor goes to find. What's Ian doing? I don't know. The Doctor and someone goes to find D84.
Ian's looking after Barbara, who's looking after Toos's arm. Vicki is around.
Yeah.
Vicky's around. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe Vicki. maybe instead of Toos, maybe Vicki banged her arm. So that's all 3 of them taken out of action.
Yeah. The sort of things you do.
Yeah. Ian says, "I'll come with you," and he goes, "No, stay here and look after the women." They sometimes do in the 60s.
Well, yeah. Poor Toos. She's hurt her arm, so she has to go and lie down for a bit. She's a delicate flower.
Yeah. Well, Toos hurt her head then. Vicki hurt her arm. Toos hurt her head.
Right. Okay.
It's an indelicate thing when a sandminer starts sinking.
Yeah. Okay. Ian hurt his knee. He's got a gammy knee.
Ian hurt his knee. Yeah, he's got like a cartilage. Yeah.
They're all lying on that big round bed.
Nice. Yeah, with Toos. Who's going? Get the fuck out of my room.
And then
very soon, Dad. They're there. everyone, just come and rest in my bedroom. It's going, all right, yep, let's do that.
We shed a little bit of suspicion on Paul as well. We know he's not telling the whole truth. He kind of
He's shifty.
Yeah, he's shifted. He locks Leela up originally. Maybe he locks up Ian and Barbara or someone in the crew quarters and then disappears.
Yes.
Yeah, he basically runs off.
You can lock them all up in the crew quarters.
He'll
Just
get
get
locked
them
up
out of the way in exactly the same way as
Yes.
nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah.
But Ian, he may have magnets, but he hasn't got a magic ring to go with it.
No magic ring.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? Yeah.
Bummer.
No magic ring.
Mm-hmm.
He's just got an normal ring.
Oh, an ordinary ring, yeah.
That's all he's got. Yeah.
He uses a normal ring.
It's an normal ring. Yeah. He's known for it.
Yeah.
So we get a scene where sort of there's Dask, who is starting to look increasingly obvious, who's kind of putting corpse markers on dead robots. And then
we had the bit where we have the video overlay affecting on his face, and you kind of
quite clearly
you
Dask.
kind of quite clearly see his head.
Yeah. It sounds like Dask.
Since the story isn't terribly interested in the mystery, it's not quite Agatha Christie in that way, is it?
Yeah.
We're not gathered together in the sitting room at the end and told, okay, it's Dask behind it all.
No,
it's
indeed. It's
clear,
revealed somewhat beforehand. Yeah,
relatively early who it is.
Even by a process of elimination.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So Paul comes in and finds this robot with blood in its hands, and he just loses it. Just completely loses it.
Mm-hmm.
Dask's in the next scene on the screen, isn't it? He's giving the red eye to SB7.
Yeah.
So it's obviously. Meanwhile, the doctor's found D84. He threatens to tell SB7 that he can talk, and then D84 kind of admits that he's been sent to investigate after threatening letters were sent to the company from Taran Capel. Taran Capel is a kind of a robotic genius who grew up with robots and is just a fanatic, but he's apparently hiding in the crew. So that's clearly Dask. And then the pair of them, the Doctor and D84, the mates now, they head off to find Dask's workshop. And it's kind of we're fed up of the murder mystery now. SB7 just sends all the robots out to kill the remaining crew. Just get rid of the lot. I mean, really, he could have done that at the start.
Taran Capel's mad.
Yeah, Taran Capel's mad. He's mad.
Yes, he's bonkers.
He's,
that shit.
That's absolutely mad.
I only wanted to stand around there pretending to be Dask for a bit, just in case I don't know, you might get exposed, rather than just kill them all immediately.
Next thing you know, he's going to paint his face green. He's just bonkers.
He's off it. He's dodgy.
This is just.
I love his name, by the way.
Taran, it's great.
I mean, obviously, it's based on Carol Capek or Capek, however you pronounce it. Who invented the word robot?
But it's great, yeah.
It feels like a proper name as well. It's
a proper science fiction name, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's something Asimov would use.
Yeah.
Of course, I suppose this does owe something to Asimov because he's the one with the laws of robotics.
All of these stories, they're very Asimov influenced. Yeah, they're all kind of robots can't hurt humans. Oh, was that something? It's kind of It's like Asimov reassured everyone it'll be all right.
And every child of the 70s knows, of course the robot's going to hurt you. That's what it's for. With the exceptions of K9, RTD2, and Tricky. And Huey, Louie, and Dewey.
Oh, go blimey, that's sexy, that is.
There's a robot revolution, basically. It's the gist of it. I think we've got Now, let's try and get this right. V5 goes to attack Ian and Barbara in the crew quarters. And then V6 goes to attack Susan, I think possibly Vicki.
Nowadays RTD would set this to Children of the Revolution.
Yeah.
You'd just have that track playing in the background.
Yeah, she would. Yeah. And then V4 is kind of going after the Doctor, but they don't quite get to that straight away because the Doctor's got lots of stuff where he finds this workshop and then basically calls Twos to warn her just as V6 arrives, basically. And we have some tension around that. And then I think it must be Ian and Barbara escape from the other robot and they find Paul just hiding. And this is around the point where Uvanov's broken out as well. There's lots of stuff happening that we don't quite see. So Uvanov's kind of broken out between scenes, and then V4 turns up in the corridor to try and kill one of them. basically the Doctor and Uvanovs. So yeah, that's the end of episode 3.
Well, the end of episode 3 is that he actually starts killing the Doctor, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right, because they're in the room.
Yeah,
with
he
the
goes,
lasers
well, I
and-
wonder which one of us it is. And he goes, kill the Doctor, and starts
That's
strangling
right.
the fuck out.
They're in the workshop with all the lasers
Yeah.
and probes where they've been infected, these robots.
Yeah.
So that turns out to be
Yeah.
quite handy because Uvanov is able to kind of laser and probe the back of this robot's head and kind of staggers off.
What's Ian doing?
I'm assuming that Ian and Barbara found Paul. I mean, I've kind of paired them off.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
What's Vicky doing? Is Vicky just hanging around them?
Vicky's with Toos.
Vicky's with Toos. Oh, they're comparing injuries. Oh, my
They're
arm
comparing
hurts.
injuries.
Yeah, my head hurts. That's worse.
And then V6 comes in. He's like, I must kill one of you. Toos probably.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You see, he's like the Dalek in the Change that goes, must kill one of you. Toos probably. Not sure. I'll just kill you both. Neat.
How does Poole get away with not having a terrible hat?
He's a secret agent. It's in his contract. Not wearing a terrible hat.
Or is David Collins just like, I'm not wearing the hat?
Does he have a terrible hat very early on? When they're all
Yeah, I don't think he
out
never
in episode
he
one?
never has a terrible hat. And the others, one by one, you can kind of imagine the actors kind of going, I think my character would lose the hat at this point.
They do start shedding hats. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's quite blessed the scene where Toos is there in her pajamas and she's about to leave. He's like, no, I must take my hat with me.
Yeah.
The rest of you, no, fine, okay.
The director's like, don't forget the hat. And she's like, shit.
Yeah, because of all that stuff we shot in Block 1 where I'm coming out in the corridor with my hat on. You didn't tell me otherwise, did you, director?
I'm not sure she actually puts it on, but she definitely picks it up at one point. She appears to have the intention of going out in her jammies and a hat. So, you know.
Maybe it's an attack hat. Maybe this is something else we've learned about the Caldorian society. You just don't walk around without a hat unless you poo.
Yeah, I think that it's a hat-based
Try
society.
not to draw attention to yourself like poo.
Yeah. If you want to kind of, be important in Caldor City, you need a big hat.
It'll be like those things of wearing massive wigs back in the day. It's just, you know.
The bigger the hat,
because,
the
it's because
more
we shot
senior.
stuff in Block 1 with a hat on, isn't it? It's continuity. That's why. That's going to.
It's a bit. Where's my jumper? I must put it on.
It is. Yes.
That's a gag that won't mean anything to anybody.
Nothing to anybody.
Yeah, no, that's a 1%.
But then, when's that ever stopped us?
We get a bit of excitement really with this. V6 eventually gets recalled. He gets called back by SB7 before he can finish the job, which is a bit of luck. So DA4 turns up in time to find that Toos is basically okay.
Yeah.
And Vicki as well, presumably.
Yeah.
Do not throw hands at me.
I bet it's Vicky who throws the hand this time. Though.
Vicki will throw the hand.
Sort of thing should do.
Yeah, she would do. Yeah.
And also Maureen O'Brien by this point would have gone, I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, so give Vicki something to do,
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
That'll be a bit feisty, yeah.
She's totally going to adopt D84, isn't she? Like Zombo.
Yeah.
Oh, she is.
She's really going to adopt him, yeah.
She really is. Yeah, she's going to adopt the hell out of him. Yeah.
Maybe she's the one who ends up having to press the button and end his life.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's Barbara and Vicky just goes, what is your problem?
I'm just imagining him now like sort of making the sad chumbly noise. They head to control deck. They all agreed to meet there, basically. So they're in the control deck. When SV7
the doctor kind of say, lock yourselves in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he does yet.
Find explosives.
They're still arriving, yeah. The scene that I'm kind of looking at is the SV7.
Oh, the one where Poole's lying down. D84 brings him in and goes, he's broken.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bit, I think, shortly before that with SV7 calls, but they realise that he's not himself because he doesn't recognise Toos' voice.
Yeah.
Sort of subtle little touch there. But then everybody else arrives, basically. DA4 brings in Poole. They're working together. They're undercover agents.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they are. And Paul's got robophobia. Or Grim Rage syndrome, as the doctor assistant called it.
Indeed, yes.
He just gets it in whenever he can.
Maybe it's going to be called Pinfield syndrome.
Pinfield syndrome.
Yeah.
And we also get Uvanovs. Uvanovs gives the story about Zilda's brother, who apparently suffered from robophobia. and then staggered out of the sandminer himself and died.
Ran out in front of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooped.
I was just getting into stalking him too.
It's about to give him a really good stalking. Then he went mad. What's wrong with people? Stalk them once, they lose it.
Fuck you, the family. Founding family all over, I tell you.
Oh, too good to be stalked. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want my stalkers, thought they'd die instead. Well, fuck you. Who's laughing now? Me, Uvanov. Sits down, starts singing Working Class Hero, and Hartnell beats him to death with a stick.
Yeah.
Well, Hartnell tries to, and Ian restrains him, or William Russell restrains him, because no, Bill, no.
Yeah. So, yeah, some of them get left behind. They get left behind to make robot bombs. It's just Uvanov and twos in the original version. Perhaps some of the TARDIS crew stick with them, give them something to do.
Barbara and Vicki,
Barbara and Vicki making bombs.
It's making things. They're,
Yeah, they're going to crochet.
It's always up to the women to make things.
I tell you what, it's Ian and Barbara, and Vicki goes with the Doctor.
Vicki goes with the Doctor. Yeah, okay.
You can totally see her fitting into the little cupboard thing with her cylinder.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
More so than Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. So the Doctor takes Vicki and D84 back to the storage bay. So while they're away, this is where Das turns up. He's gone full green face. He's trying to persuade them he's okay, but they're wise to him.
He's not in any way okay, is he?
He's not in any way okay. He needs to have a little lie down.
Very not okay.
Yeah, bless him.
I do love that. I love that scene, the way it cuts. You get him shouting, and then it just cuts to him outside just as he's, losing his shit.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
Ah, yeah, he's bonkers. Yeah. Okay.
And he's got his face paint on. He's become one of his brothers.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Great reveal of he's finally gone.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
We're in the end game.
There's various kind of plans going on. The Doctor's got this bit of broken robot head and the communicator that somebody gave him. Yeah. And he's kind of got that tied into Dask's comms. Up on the command deck, the V5 is attacking them, and they manage to blow him up, and then they're running around attaching bombs to robots. So there's a bit of action here, and the Doctor locks Vicki in a cupboard.
Yeah.
With a bottle of helium that he's got from somewhere, I don't know where.
Because it was the 1960s. He did that to children.
Yeah. So this is the big climax, really, isn't it? So Dask arrives. He breaks D84. He decides to strap the Doctor to a table.
Because he's mad.
He's bonkers. Yeah, he wants to probe him a bit. He's going to give him a good probing.
Yeah.
Rather than kill him.
I wonder if there's something like that bit in Master Plan where Hartnell's kind of gives us a video of Vicki Diesel kind of
Yeah. He's going more of a helmet, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, we've used the probes before. We've used lasers and probes before. I suppose it'll be.
That's true. Yeah.
We'll just use it.
Yeah. Okay.
Is Hartnell still going to tell Dask he looks ridiculous in that outfit?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. You look ridiculous, my boy.
It's funny, it's remarkable how many of what we think are very Tom Baker lines work perfectly well with Hartnell.
Yeah.
They're completely differently played, but they work well.
Yeah.
Good Doctor lines.
It's all in the performance.
Yeah.
That is the dematerializing control, and that over yonder is the horizontal hold. Up there is the scanner, those are the doors, that is the chair with a panda on it. Sheer poetry, dear boy.
So DA4 sacrifices himself. He gets to the Doctor's device and sort of blows up the local robots. And then SV7 comes in, but Dask's... it's quite nice. He's been getting gradually more squeaky.
Yeah.
As the scene goes on. Dask's voice has changed, so SB7 doesn't recognise him and kills him. And then Uvanov turns up and kills SB7. Or the Doctor kills SB7. Somebody kills SB7.
Yeah. The stick probes and SB7.
It's great. Actually, Uvanov and Toos both get bashed over the head and kind of fall to the floor. And rather than stick around and check if they're okay, check if Paul's still alive, the Doctor's like, all right, now we're going now. And they just leave. That's in the story, basically. They just go.
Yeah. I'd like to say to our listeners, don't hide in a crawl space with a bottle of pure helium, because it will cause your windpipe to close up completely and you will die.
Well, yeah, if you've in a cupboard full of helium, there's no oxygen, so yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually quite
you
dangerous.
would you would suffocate
Blimey.
if that's all you had to breathe.
Yeah, so don't suck helium balloons, folks. I wouldn't do that. Neither should you.
Totally done that in the past.
Yeah.
But I mean, the squeakiness is your larynx sort of
Yeah.
closing up, isn't it? So
I didn't know that.
prolonged exposure will make your entire windpipe close up.
That's fun. Yeah. Wow. There you go. It's probably a good job we just passed that balloon between us then.
Yeah.
It was fun in the 90s.
Oh, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
I was cyanide poisoning last week. Is the helium
Yeah.
poisoning this week?
Yeah.
What is it next week?
Remarkable we're still here.
Ensplinment.
So yeah, that was True Bots of Death.
Yeah.
Better or worse?
Different.
Yeah.
Still a great story. It would be a classic Hartnell story, I'm sure. We'd only
Well,
have half of it.
Like we said, the script is solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, no, if it's the Romans, we'd have the lot, wouldn't we?
We would.
Yeah, I think the design would be fine. It would be different. It would lose that Art Deco bit, which does lift it greatly.
Yeah.
But all the nuances are still there in the script. All the cast are more than capable of performing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we'd lose a bit in design. But Kissick's going to do something interesting.
Mm.
Christopher Barry's going to shoot it more than competently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not like we've given it to Richard Martin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'd be a great Hartnell story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it probably, I'm going to say 8 out of 10.
8. I'd also 8. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll also go for 8. So
Okay.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Well, that's 8 then.
That was easy.
consensus.
All right.
I'll go and do some numbers.
Numbers.
Next week.
Yeah, let's leave it to the Hartnell story.
Yeah. Hartnell indulge in the back of it.
Yeah.
12.
Doctor 12.
Doctor 12.
Doctor 12.
In story 236 might be one of his.
I don't think so. 2, 3, 6. Journey to the center of the TARDIS.
Ooh.
That is one of his, isn't it?
No, that's one
Yeah,
of
it's Matt
Smith.
Smith.
That's a Matt Smith. That's okay. So yeah, Capaldi in or Peter Capaldi in Journey to the Center of the TARDIS. Yeah.
Anybody want to agree? They're probably the two most similar eras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if I want to use
I'll
my
grade
radar.
that. I'll grade that.
All right, got it.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound terribly exciting. $180.
The Shakespeare Code.
Huh.
There you go.
Yeah.
Live with it. Yeah, the Shakespeare Code. With Peter Capaldi. Yeah.
It's always much more fun when we get new doctors in
I know. We've done a lot of
Yeah.
classic runs, isn't it?
we've done a lot of classic doctors and classic stories recently, so you know we
Yeah.
do a few new doctors
True,
and new stories.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could always invite sort of Dickie Napper or someone on just to sort of help give us some different perspectives.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we know anybody who's a Shakespeare expert?
You're saying that Dickie Napper
No.
isn't a Shakespeare expert?
Dickie Napper isn't a Shakespeare expert. As far as I know. It's not what I associate with him. Golf, he's all over that.
Yeah.
I'll see if he's available anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. That was Time Ram with the first Doctor in the Robots of Death. Join us again next time for the 12th Doctor in the Shakespeare Code. I've been Paul Ferry. I'd like to thank Rupert Booth
I'm already busy building props. Go away.
and Barry William.
Give us a job.
He's not joking this time.
It's funny because it's true, yeah.
we'd like to thank Ben Jones for our music. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can find us on X, formerly Twitter. Rupert is at Rupert Booth. I'm at Paul48, and Baz is at Baz Time Ram. You can also find Baz and I on Tumblr, and probably all of us on Facebook. We also have our own website at www.timeram.com.
It's just timeram.com, I think. Actually, it's
Is it?
Yeah. If you look at it, it's just timeram.com.
Yeah, it wouldn't do any harm to put the W's in. Yeah. If you want to...
Apart from W haters. They're weird.
Weird W haters.
Waste your time, right?
If you want to support the podcast, you can give us a bit of money on Patreon and get a few extra bits and bobs and stuff. Or the
Really
cheaper
sell them, Paul.
option.
Make them sound great.
Yeah, just get some random shit. Or you can go for the cheaper option and just live us. Just live us.
Leave us, man.
Or you can leave us a review wherever you get your podcast from, wherever the hell that is. See us again next time. See you again next time. Bye.
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 What do you mean we're in a western?
It's totally wrong.
I know.
Yeah.
Like us being in westerns. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. We'd be lost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just play it dead British. I just go, well,
Yeah.
it's a pass, but this is what they're getting. You know, I've got one act, they're getting it. Although I'm terribly sorry, but would you mind getting off the street? You varmints.
There's some simply awful people coming into town.
No, this really isn't on.
Yeah, you have to split like John LeMichelle, yeah.
Yeah. That's how I played Batman when I was doing a thing
Yeah.
years ago. Went, what would your Batman be? And I went, well, it'd be kind of like, oh, hello, I'm Batman. Just went on from there. Just the reaction against all those mumbling idiots going, I'm Batman.
Yes.
I'm sorry? What?
What?
Would you like a pastel for your throat? Possibly a lozenge. Imagine trying to give Batman a lozenge. Don't waste your time doing that.
He'd have
You've
in
got
his
better things to
utility
do.
belt. He'd have bat lozenges. He'd be like, you
He'd
know,
have bat lozenges.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
would have bat lozenges. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but that 60s Batman, though, he could actually speak.
Yeah.
that's true. That's
He
true.
was-
There's entirely different
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah.
Mm,
You give him the lozenge and he becomes 60s Batman.
yeah. Nice. Well, just strips all his kind of like rubber
Yeah.
muscle suit off with his leotard underneath.
Yes.
Like,
George
that's
Clooney was
something.
being interviewed. He was played Batman in that terrible film he was in, and apparently the suit weighed about 40 pounds. So he would like sank on the floor, and they're like, "Well, you need to do a scene now, George." And he kind of hoisted his suit up.
Can't stand.
Batman.
Maybe
And
that's why they
doing
talk
it
like
again,
that.
Yeah.
Goes to prove leotard and a pair of spandex pants.
It's the way to go.
And you're good.
Direction point! Direction point!
A Doctor Who podcast network.